It's easy to get complacent when it hasn't rained for a whole summer, basically, which I did. So I'm trying to save some of the driveway. It's not a big deal. I can regrade this a little with the tractor, but the more gravel we save, the better. Look for the most leverage that you can get. And like most driveways, this is getting, the middle is getting low, which is always what happens eventually. And then your options become limited. And eventually you need to put more material down. Vegetation, as always, is your friend. A little quick water bar. See, it wants to almost run off right here. Of course, this all wants to happen before the rain. And they want to be just like swales, very low angle, but right now I'm just doing it quick and dirty, which is a steeper V shape. Problem with those is they don't stay that way, they just get filled in by traffic. So I'll come back and tune this up later. But for now, this is going to get water off the driveway. But this is routine maintenance on a gravel driveway. For those of you that don't know, I know it's pretty obvious to many, but you know, you're never going to be done making sure water gets off your roadway or driveway. That just comes with owning a gravel driveway, which everyone's are this time in this part of the world. And it's good. I wouldn't want an asphalt driveway. Never mind just how ugly they are. They're not something you can fix yourself, really, very easily. So ideally this wants to be recrowned. Every driveway wants to be recrowned pretty much, unless it just has been. But that takes a lot of material. So we try to buy as much time as we can between recrownings by having proper water bars and crown. Although we lose the crown, so then we need to really keep water off with water bars, which is kind of the phase we're in now. We're probably like, well, this hasn't been recrowned since we've had this driveway, at least 10 years, but it will need it eventually. You can only do this for so long because the sides start getting higher. But once the sides are high, and I get to a point where they're high enough above the driveway, you can't do this. One of the main reasons you want your driveways, your roads, high in the landscape, so you can get water off them into another place. If your driveway, one of the worst things is having a low driveway. If water can't get off your driveway and it's only going to higher ground, everywhere it leaves the driveway is higher, don't buy that piece of land if you can help it. I mean, pretty much, it's kind of an an unfixable situation, basically. I mean, unless you have to raise the roadway up with material, which is, oftentimes just not practical. So I would smooth it out like this. later when things are drier. You want a very low angle U shape, and I would knock this down. So again, if it's abrupt, it'll just be driven flat by cars. I don't mind having a little speed bump for sure, keeping cars going slow. Also, the problem is that when you have a lot of guests, everyone drives in the same place, and you want to vary your path on the roadway. See, this is all higher, all this land, so I can't get this water off, so it's on here no matter what I do. And that's why I've just focused on getting it off the driveway a bunch of times further up. But you know, your average rural landowner around here almost never does this. And they just call a heavy equipment operator to pour thousands of dollars of material in their driveway way more often than they would need to if they did 10 to 30 minutes of mattock work, pick mattock work. This is a pick mattock, not a pickaxe. Every, you know, a few times a summer, basically. A few times a year, not only in the summer. Actually, the swing seasons are oftentimes the time we need to do it the most.